Hi YouTube, welcome to or back to the channel. We got the kiddos in this Q&A. Don't touch. I told you guys I was gonna try my best to let them like be in this video, but I obviously have to keep them away. Daxon's like, who are you talking to? Woo! I have to keep them away from touching the camera, so we're gonna do our best here. I wanted to start off by just saying thank you to the people who have been like so overly supportive of our family just recently, because it has been hard, especially when Braxton and I split. I feel like there has been some increased negativity on our channel due to that. People thinking that, you know, we should be together, or, you know, we're not good parents for splitting, or whatever the case may be. So I appreciate those of you who have been supportive and understanding of our situation, and people are just so rude. Like, for instance, in my last Q&A, somebody like said something about my lip filler and then just was so hateful about it and so rude. And I actually got lip filler from Croy and Daxon's old nurse. When I filmed that video, they were still really swollen, but I wanted to get content out, so I did it. But she's like the sweetest thing ever. She wanted to do something nice for me and offered to let me be one of her models, so I actually got it done. She did it for the first time for free, so she's amazing and I love her. No! So, we're gonna get on into the questions before I can't contain them anymore. They think it's funny now. Ezra's over in the background. I feel like I should move him so he can see too. Come here, Ezzy guys! Daxon, no touch. Oh! No! No. Okay, I think we're actually gonna be able to do something now. If you didn't watch my last Q&A video, please go watch it, because I answered a lot of the questions about me and Braxton, our family. So let's get right on into it. Since we're 3 minutes in already with you quarters of filming, Mommy's gonna have to cut so much out of it. I feel like I get this question all the time, so I hope that people refer back to this video. But will the boys need their medical equipment forever? Will Ezra need a strike forever? No. Roy's already weaning off his feeding tube. Daxon's feeding tube journey will probably be a little bit longer. And then Ezra's trach, he's already done so good since being home. There's no reason to suggest right now that he would need it forever. So a lot of people asked how Ezra's adjustment was to coming home and how Croy and Daxon adjusted to him coming home. Me and Braxton both said Ezra's been the easiest adjustment of all three of them coming home. Is that funny? And I feel like Ezra did so well when he came home, and I don't know, he did amazing. Croy and Daxon have done just fine with him being home. They honestly don't all three interact very often. They honestly like didn't really notice the difference of him being home, I don't think. We're gonna have a meltdown. I know, I'm so mean for not letting you touch my expensive camera that Daddy bought me. I think he's had like almost 10 weans since being home since December. Can he talk? He makes like babbling noises. He'll say like da da da, or like talk, or you know, whatever, but he doesn't talk like Croy does. I mean, Croy's like starting to say like, he says like open please more. He says all the basic stuff. He can say like hello, goodbye, good night. So Ezra's not like talking like that, but he can eventually. So once he comes off the ventilator, he can have a speaking valve on his trach. How do I bond with Ezra, or how did I bond with him when he came home? Honestly, it's not been that bad. I put Croy and Daxon to bed a little bit earlier than Ezra because his night nurse doesn't get here till 8 and she does all his night stuff with him. So I usually hang out with Ezra once I put Croy and Daxon down and do like bonding time with him. I've also tried to make it a point to kind of like do random bonding stuff with each of them separately. So like the other day, just Croy and I went to Target. So I'm trying to like kind of do stuff like that where I'm spending time with each of them one-on-one and just having like a relationship with them as individual kids instead of as triplets, if that makes sense. You showed him how smart you are? You push him down? And how do we get this one open? Good job. Do I get overstimulated with the equipment and the noises? Yes. It's terrible. I hate it. His vent, I've gotten used to the like actual vent noise, so that's not bad, but his vent makes alarming noises all the time, and his pulse ox makes noises constantly. Their feeding pumps that one day were like all going off together, and I thought I was actually gonna like lose it. Here's Ezra popping himself off of his ventilator, so that alarms to tell us. Obviously I'm thankful that that alarm is there, but some of the alarms are like really stupid. How is it with all three home? It's great. It's amazing. It's really no different. I thought it was going to be so much harder with Ezra home, but honestly, like, he's easy. Even on the days I don't have a nurse and we take care of all three together, he still is like honestly the easiest one. We waited so long for them to all be here together, and so it's just, everything has been worth it for this moment. The boys' current goals, so Croy's is really to eat more and get off his feeding tube eventually. Eventually I say that, but like I'm hoping this year, that would be great. Hey, share, be nice. So that's his biggest goal, and then like working to talk and communicate more, I feel like. And then I would say Daxon's is probably communication. We're working on him trying to communicate. He can like make noises, like he says dad, 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 but like we don't know what's going on with everything. So his is probably communication too. They're all just vibing back there. Do I order supplies and food, or how does that work? So all of our supplies and food come through our home care company. So it's Children's Mercy Home Care is what we use. It gets brought to us once a month, so it comes, we have like 5 million boxes of stuff that comes once a month. I'll film it for you the next time that it comes so you guys can see how much stuff it is. They know like how much food they need, they know like all their supplies, because it doesn't usually change unless I like request a different size of syringe or a different length of extension tube, or I just got them the bigger feeding bags, which you can see right here. I think, yeah, versus they used to have these small ones that we just now use for Ezra's water. So just like adjustments like that I have to decide to make. But other than that, everything just comes same standard every month. How does Ezra sleep at night and for naps? He's a cake. He sleeps actually really well. Sometimes he doesn't take his full daytime nap, but if he doesn't, he's still not cranky somehow. Like, he's just always a happy baby, I feel like. Was Ezra the biggest at birth? No, he was actually the smallest by 1 ounce. Croy was, I almost said 12 pounds. 1 pound, 12 ounces. No, Croy was 1 pound, 13 ounces, and Ezra was 1 pound, 12 ounces. And it's crazy because the differences that 1 ounce made between the two of them is like wild. Is Dax eating by mouth? Can we drop feeds for him? So he gets continuous night feeds and then a continuous feed for naps. So we really can't drop a feed for him because it's continuous. He can't do like bolus feeds, meaning like one big amount at a time like Croy used to do. Croy used to have like 5 feeds a day that were like 200 mLs, say, to speak. So he can't do that because of his feeding tube being in his intestines versus his stomach. And the reason for that is because whenever he had his esophagus repair, they pulled his stomach up into his chest, so he can't have a G-tube. His stomach's like clear up here. Croy feeding update, like I said, he's very like picky about when he does and doesn't want to eat. Sometimes he's like eating the whole house and he'll eat like 5 million things in a day, and then sometimes he just like doesn't want to eat at all. He also got into a really bad habit where he was spitting his food out. He would like get all the flavor off of it and then just spit it out, which was a terrible phase. I think we're sort of getting through that, but now he's been like pocketing his food and just like leaving it sit there. Like if I don't go and like scrape it out, he'll leave it sitting there for like 2 hours and he'll just walk around with it in his mouth. Drives me nuts. But therapy's like working through those things with him too. So are you sharing? The long-term outlook on the boys is honestly good. I mean, Croy's pretty much caught up now to a normal adjusted age for him, and I hate saying normal because like kids, even without being born premature, walk and do all these things at their own age and their own time. So everything looks good for them. The only concerns that we really have is just for Daxon's like esophagus and vocal cord issues. We don't know like if he'll be able to speak or like what his sound is gonna be like. So that's like the biggest thing right now, but we're kind of stuck until he wants to take more by mouth. He has been eating some by mouth. I think I kind of skipped over that question on accident. He does like sauces, so that's like where we're at right now, which is huge for him because we've pretty much never done taste with him. Do I stress about their milestones? I used to stress really bad about their milestones, but now like I think seeing how far Croy especially came like since he's been home, I know that they do stuff on their own time. And with Ezra, he came home and just took off, and one good thing about them being triplets is they really motivate each other. How often do we have help? So we have a day nurse. Kaylee's usually here. She usually takes Fridays off, so I'd say she's usually here 6 days a week, maybe 5.5. And then I have a night nurse 4 nights a week. And then Braxton is usually here probably like 5 nights of the week. When we don't have a night nurse, he's almost always here to help. And then maybe, I don't know, he's not here as much during the day because he works, but yeah, what are you saying? The boys' interaction with the nurses, they love their nurses. Do you love Kaylee and Stacy and Paige? Ezra is especially like close with them because, you know, they take care of him day in and day out. But Daxon, of course, is obsessed with Kaylee still because he was with her and she took care of him strictly for however long. But she's always helped me to take care of Croy too. Honestly, we couldn't do without her. But and then the boys now just like have met the other nurses and they love like interacting with them too. So is insurance not covering Ezra anymore? So I had previously mentioned that they were acting like they weren't going to cover Ezra anymore because they were saying like he could have been sent home. But what I found out was that it was because we were setting up discharge plans at that time. So we were like 30 days out from discharge. So our insurance company was like, oh, well, if he's out for discharge, then he doesn't need to be here now. The whole thing was we had to schedule nursing and get all this stuff figured out. And so it ended up just them arguing with the insurance company that he did still need to be there until nursing was scheduled and whatever else. But they got that taken care of. Did they cut Daxon's vocal cord on accident? Will he talk or cry? So he does cry. I mean, he does cry. It just sounds like barky. And he tries to talk and like make noise, but it just comes out as like very weird sounds. So they did cut it on accident during his esophagus repair procedure. We don't really know what the future holds with that yet, so we'll just kind of have to see with some more time. Is there a more mobile setup for Ezra once he starts walking? No. This is pretty much all we got. Once he starts walking, if he's like getting more and more stable, we can take just his ventilator and put him on more of like a travel humidifier, like his HME, which is what we take when we go places. We could potentially like just put his ventilator on a cart, at least for a while, like maybe during more waking hours to make it a little bit easier, like a small scooter or something. But mostly this is what we get to deal with until he comes off the ventilator, so it's fun. What's our therapy schedule and how has it helped the boys? Of course, the boys are resilient and they're gonna learn to do stuff on their own. And like I said, it's all about timing and patience and understanding that every kiddo is different. But therapy has significantly helped them. I mean, I owe all of Croy eating to their, you know, OT that they see. So Croy sees OT once a week and then PT once a month because he's pretty caught up in as far as PT goes. And then OT still like sees him once a week. She does feeds with him, but she also will do speech or communication, whatever. That was what we felt like his biggest need was, whereas Daxon and Ezra started out needing more PT than OT just because we didn't know how much they would want to entertain eating right now. So they both see PT once a week right now, which Daxon probably could switch to seeing OT more frequently and PT less. For now, that's kind of what both him and Ezra do. They see PT once a week and then OT once a month, and then they're starting to see speech here and there too. Like I want to say it's like every 6 weeks or something, speech is here. What do we do when we have no night nurse with Ezra? So I can show you guys if I remember at the end of the video, but we basically just have another crib in our room. That's all it is, and we just drag this whole cart into our room and we keep him in there overnight. The 3 nights a week we don't have a night nurse. That's what we do. We just keep him in our room. I have never had an instance, obviously, as he's alive, where me and Braxton both haven't woke up his alarms. You would have to be in a coma to sleep through those things. So I don't remember if I answered this in the last video, but Daxon and Ezra are the identical twins and then Croy is the fraternal. Somebody had asked kind of how they can help the boys or the things that they really need right now, and I got so much, well actually I will lie, I didn't get a lot of hateful comments. I knew they would come because again, every time that I bring up anything about wants or needs for the boys, everybody has a whole panic conniption attack. So for instance, I know in April I'm taking vacation and I'm gonna be in Florida, and I'm sure everyone's gonna be like, oh, she's going to vacation for Florida, but she's asking for handouts for her kids on YouTube. I'm not asking for handouts. I couldn't, honestly, we don't need anyone to send us anything at all. Like, the boys are very taken care of. They have everything that they could want and need, but people want to help. They want to send them stuff that they're going to use and play with. People, in my last video, I talked about that I was I put my Venmo and my PayPal for Ezra's medical equipment, and I knew that people would want to help and put money towards that. He's going to get it regardless. We're going to buy it if, you know, no matter what. But if we don't have to spend the money on those things because other people want to help them, we're able to spend money on other things that we need too, like us having to upgrade our car to a bigger either SUV or a van. I always said I wouldn't be a van mom, but we can't fit. We don't fit. I can't take all 3 of the kids and me and Braxton or me and a nurse and their strollers in my car. We don't fit. That's an example. Like, it's just frustrating because we've never been the family. I very rarely even shared like the Triplets wish list or that we're getting, you know, this if people want to help, but I get hundreds of comments on my videos asking for that information, so it's very frustrating for me because I hate when people are like, oh, well, you know, you got your lips done, or when I'm going to post a travel vlog in April and I know somebody's going to say something, but little do they know, you know, like my lip injections were for free because my nurse just started doing them and needed models, or, you know, for my trip to Florida in April, my mom is paying for almost all of it for my birthday present. I will still let people love and support my kids. I'm never going to tell, you know, I'm not asking for stuff from me, so that's the other thing that really gets me is people act like I'm putting like makeup and stuff on my wish list for like me. It's all for the kids. Like, I'm not benefiting from them getting new toys. They are, you know. So I will continue putting their wish list in the comments for those of you who want to help or want to donate to Ezra's medical equipment. We had like 5 or 6 people donate. I know people probably hate me doing this, but I really just wanted to share their names because, so Adrian, thank you so much. Michelle, Kirsten, and Cherie. That's how you guys say your names. I'm sorry if I butchered them. I'm not very good. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to show you guys when we order Ezra's equipment. I said I would provide receipts that's what the money is getting spent on. I put all of it in savings until we have enough. So, but most importantly, just your comments and sharing our channel with people and helping us grow. Providing support for us is honestly more than I could ask for. You guys don't know how much it means to me to go through and like read your comments. I'm trying not to cry. I get very emotional about this. We like truly couldn't have done the last almost 2 years. Well, longer than that with my pregnancy without you guys. And there are some really hateful people, but overall, a lot of really kind people that have been so supportive that feel like family. So thank you guys for spreading, you know, awareness of our journey and helping to grow our channel so that I can stay home with the kiddos. That's all I could ask for. Your views, your likes, your comments mean the world to us. So thank you. Do we have 3 kids with G-tubes and how is it? We do. We have 3 kids with G-tubes. It's honestly not that bad. It's really not that bad. I think we got into such a schedule. Now they're pretty much only, so Daxon and Ezra eat overnight, all night, and then on naps. So from 12 to 3, they have a continuous feed, and then all night they get a slow. Croy is just overnight now so that he can eat more during the day. Did my mom meet Ezra for the first time when he came home? No, she had gotten to see him, I think like twice in the hospital or something. Sorry, I had to pause because my camera ran out of minutes. This happens to me every time. I gotta get stuff switched over. But anyways, Ez, inner cannula. I don't think they ever tried inner cannula with Ez, but I don't think he probably would have tolerated it. He was on non-invasive pressure ventilation for a while, but he then got pulmonary hypertension, so that's about as far as he got. He never was even on CPAP. Ezra's new milestones. He's crawling. He's pulling to stand sometimes. Like, he will use that high chair and like stand up by the TV. And he's doing like small bits of taste too, so that's been exciting. Croy and Dax, do they have the same bond with Ezra as they do with each other? Yeah, I think so. Like I said, they honestly don't interact very much with each other. They kind of just ignore one another, which is like so funny, but they're just weird. They just, I don't know, they don't really pay attention to one another. Is Dax off oxygen? He's actually doing room air trials as we speak, so hopefully that will get him fully off oxygen. I'm hoping to keep it in the house PRN in case he gets sick or something, because he's always needed it again when he's sick, but fingers crossed, guys. Most rewarding or difficult part about all 3 being home? Most rewarding is obviously just seeing them like all together. Most difficult, I'd say sometimes they like all need something at once, or if they're all cranky at once, that's really hard because 3 cranky toddlers, or Ezra popping himself off and then Croy having a meltdown and Daxon being like dramatic about something. It's like all at one time. That's when it's like very difficult. Can Ezra breathe without his trach? For very short periods of time. He breathes okay, but one of his lungs just kind of collapses. So it's really getting that one lung stronger. At nighttime, he like does so good on his vent. Do we have a schedule for dropping Croy's feeds? Not really. It's just as he keeps eating more, we can keep dropping more. So right now we've only dropped the 1, and the more he eats, the more calories he's taking by day, which I'm hoping, since we just switched to those all overnight feeds, we were doing 1 long one during the day, that it'll help him even more to eat more. So, oh, can we have a story time about Ezra's trach coming out? So Braxton got up in the morning and went to the bathroom and then came back in and just like thought to look, and his trach had come out, like very strange. And then another time, I think he just pulled it out, and we walked in the room and it was just sitting on the floor next to him, and Braxton was like, guys! So me and Kaylee like come running in here, and then there was one more time. I wasn't here, it was just Kaylee and Braxton, and that was the really bad one where they didn't know it came out because it was stuck kind of underneath his dressing. So say like this is the dressing surrounding the trach. The trach had come out and was underneath the dressing, so you couldn't see that it was out, and they were trying to bag him because he was like unresponsive, and really it was just that his trach wasn't in. So it's really easy to like put it back in really quick. It's just like knowing that it fell out and the adrenaline of like seeing it not in him, knowing that he has to have it to breathe. It's like stressful. Do we do sign language? Yes, we are working on sign language. Corboy, can you say more? Corey does a lot of sign language. I'll see if he'll put stuff down and do it. Will the kids always need 24-hour care? No, definitely not. Hopefully, you know, at some point when Ezra doesn't need his ventilator or his trach anymore, he won't need 24-hour care. The other 2 don't have nursing, so they already don't get 24-hour care. Do the boys get along? They steal toys from each other a lot and like whack each other with stuff, but for the most part they just ignore one another. Why does Ezra have a puffy face? So a lot of it is just the trach. Like it just makes them like get a bigger head and get like more swollen and puffy. I don't really know why. I've asked like so many people and everybody's like, yeah, it's just trach, kiddos. Like, we don't really know why. Hey. Whoa, I almost whacked you. Do I have a routine or do I go with the flow? We have a very strict routine with them. Like we don't like to veer away from the routine. The only time we veer away from the routine is on therapy days, but now our therapy times are changing, so we don't even have to veer away from our routine on therapy days anymore, which is good because I'm a very routine gal. We wake up at usually 8:30 to 9, and do all their morning stuff, and then they nap from 12 to 3. They get up, and at 4 p.m. we start baths. We get all their baths done before Kaylee leaves, our nurse. I'm without a nurse for 3 hours until Ezra's night nurse gets here, so I just hang out with them for 3 hours. And then usually Croy and Daxon lay down at like right at 7:30, and then Ezra lays down at 8 and gets all of his nighttime meds, all his nighttime stuff. And then Croy and Daxon start their feeds at 7:30 too when they lay down. I think that's it, guys. That was a longer one than I anticipated, so I'm sorry, but I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I love you. I'm rushing because I know my camera's gonna run out of space in a second, and I don't want to miss the intro. I missed the exit. Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. 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 We love you guys. We'll see you in the next video. It'll be a day in the life vlog. Also, Daxon's eye surgery vlog is coming up soon, and us taking all 3 kids to the doctor together, so wish us luck. Love you. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. It's like I already said it once. This is some extended footage. Can you say bye-bye? Crowboy, say bye-bye. Crowboy, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Daxie, say goodbye. He's like, Mom, you know I can't talk. He said bye-bye. Can you wave? I said bye-bye. Bye-bye. Azzy Kai, oh, you sleepy over here. So can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye.